Rob, what is our second main topic today?
Well, our second main topic comes to us from the Grim Reader. Hey, John, first, I wanted to say awesome job on the Johnny Depp video. John, I would like to also second my appreciation for your video, which I watched yesterday. You, man. You handled a difficult topic perfectly. Okay, did you see that Eternals has gotten its official rating and it's going to be PG-13? I know, water wet. But it also says it contains scenes of sexuality, which really isn't normal for the MCU. With under 6 weeks to go until it opens, what are your expectations for Eternals right now? Well, John, Kimberly, I have to say, I've been a huge proponent of this movie for a long time, since its inception, being a fan of the Kirby originals and also the work that Neil Gaiman has done with the characters. So I'm completely stoked about this movie, and that Chloe Zhao directed it. I mean, as John has pointed out, she's the defending world champion of directors.
Defending.
And I mean, it's to me, we're truly getting an auteurist vision for a movie. She had pitched her idea to Kevin Feige, apparently, and that he went with her take. So I'm really, really excited. And I think, we've heard mention that we're going to have the first same-sex relationship depicted in this, which, the Eternals have been created by the Celestials. They're not exactly human beings. So I could see that as being something going on, and that they have to acknowledge it. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has been rather chaste after 25 movies. Not a lot of romance happening in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I could see that being something that they're finally going to introduce. And I'm there for it. Coming soon says, according to film ratings, Marvel Studios' highly anticipated Marvel Cinematic Universe film Eternals has officially been given a PG-13 rating from the MPA for fantasy violence and action, some language, and brief sexuality, which teases the star-studded film's epic scale. So, I mean, to me, after 25 movies, man, people kiss. And I'd like to see a little bit more romance, however it goes, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I'm good. What do the both of you think?
Kimberly, we've been talking about Eternals a lot. I know this is a film you're excited about. So excited. No surprise about the rating PG-13. At least I don't think there's any surprise there. Brief sexuality. I mean, we've seen kisses in movies before. They don't warrant brief sexuality. So what do you think ultimately that means? And where's your expectation level right now for the Eternals?
I think maybe, look, I come with the perspective, I'm an auntie, I don't have kids of my own, but I come from the perspective of what it's like to take your kids to the movies and to have a family day at the movies. And I know, even though it's PG-13, if you're with a parent, you can bring kids that are younger. I actually had this happen the other night. We were watching a show with the boys, and it was like fantasy, and it was cool. And then all of a sudden, boobies. Like, what?
And then all of a sudden, that's a t-shirt. All of a sudden, boobies. I love that.
And now I know, I don't freak out, guys. I'm not reading too much into it. I know there's not going to be nudity. I get it. But I feel like when you have a Marvel film, except for my buddy on my t-shirt here, except for Deadpool, obviously, when you have a Marvel film, you're generally thinking family film. And there's kind of nothing more frustrating than having your kidlets with you and you're excited for a film and all of a sudden something pops up and you're like, whoa, why? I was not expecting that. I don't think they're going to push it too far, but it does beg the question, why are you mentioning that? We had a little romance with the Hulk and Natasha. We had a little bit of romance. We had a beautiful romance with Cap. I'm wondering what they mean by this.
Remember, also keep in mind, this isn't Disney saying this. This is the ratings.
Yeah, the rating. Yeah. So. I mean, you have scenes where someone just wakes up in a bed and you see their back and oh, somebody got it on last night. Okay. They wake up with each other. I get it. Or there's a passionate kiss. I just am hoping, when I think of Marvel, I think of how I've been taking the boys. One of them was in the carrier. The other one was swinging his legs on the chair. He was so small. And through all the 25 movies, it's a family thing for us. So I just hope that they don't get too adult, but I think it's going to be a beautiful love story. I think that's something, I believe, John, that was something that Kevin Feige said early on, is that this is going to be the first real love story that you're going to see in Marvel, if I remember correctly. So I'm all for that. It's PG-13, so I hopefully no boobies out of nowhere, but my expectations are high. I'm here for it. I miss romance in film, and so I'm looking for a love story. So I guess we'll just have to see,
See, I see a lot of people in the live chat saying stuff like, oh, it's just going to be a kiss. No, you don't. The ratings board doesn't give a warning for brief sexuality.
But there's been kisses in other Marvel films, and we didn't.
No, so that's not going to be it.
That's not going to be it. It's going to be something more than that. So I feel like it's going to be a little.
It's going to be more than that. I don't believe there's not going to be any nudity.
And PG-13. I mean, I know PG-13 is no nudity, but if I'm correct,
oh no, you can have nudity in PG-13.
I was just going to ask how far they push it, because like I said, like with movies and kids, I've had experiences where I take the kids, PG-13, maybe they were 11 at the time, and I'm like, oh, this movie seems okay, and I've been sitting there going, oh, whoa, oh, wow, that is a lot. So I just hope I don't have that experience here. I mean, the boys are older now. They are, some of them are 13.
Look, the main thing here is they're not even saying hard sexuality. They're saying there's brief sexuality that doesn't give any warnings about.
I hope nobody.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't.
Getting up from their knees,
no, but there's no warnings of nudity. So there's we know it doesn't mean any nudity, or else nudity would have been listed in there.
Yeah. Okay.
So I just don't really know, but whatever it's going to be mild. It's going to be mild, whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't see Chloe Zhao being like, this is my chance to get in some hardcore action.
Yeah, no.
She is a beautiful storyteller. What I saw from Nomadland was such a beautiful portrayal of humanity. So
we'll see where they go. I think the bigger question though here is ultimately, again, I don't think that means much. In PG-13, you're right, water wet. But Rob, going back to what we were hearing 2 years ago, like a year or two ago, we were hearing, and even again up to about 6 months ago, there are some online pundits that started reporting that their contacts at Marvel were telling them that they have never been as excited about a movie they're making as they are about Eternals.
That's right.
And then, Rob, you and I know somebody, and they told me that Marvel believes, now just because a couple of people in Marvel believe it doesn't mean you and I are going to agree, but that Marvel believes this is the best movie they've ever made. The top people at Marvel believe that Eternals is the best movie they've ever made. We heard words from Kevin Feige when he was talking about Oscar potential for Marvel movies. The film he very deliberately used as their example was not Spider-Man No Way Home, was not Shang-Chi, was not Black Widow. It was Eternals. And he started talking about he believes Eternals is going to get a Best Picture nomination at the Academy Awards. They are really all in about this. And I think we are all, I just have a feeling we're going to be shocked. I got a feeling we're going to be shocked about this. I think this, now, do I think this is going to be better than Civil War? That's a tall order. Do I think this is going to be better than Winter Soldier? That is a tall order. Do I think this is going to be better than Shang-Chi? Maybe. I think Kevin Feige seems to think it is. Do I think this is going to be better than the original Avengers? I doubt it. That's a tall order. But I don't know. Rob, how good do you think this movie can actually be? Where's your expectations right now for it?
Well, I think what's going to be interesting about this movie, and if it's about what I suspect it's actually about, it'll be a very different kind of a Marvel movie, which is what I love. I love when they change up their genres and change up their approaches. I don't think this is going to be your typical superhero origin fare. I think this movie is going to deal with existential questions in the way that other superhero movies don't. And it's going to deal with matters of personal responsibility, societal responsibility. I think it's going to be a way different kind of movie than we're used to. And, I've always thought in my own mind that Best Picture winners, John, should be sort of deal with universal concepts, basic truths of humanity. Sometimes I'm right about that. Sometimes I'm wrong. But I think Eternals is not going to be so much as a superhero action adventure movie as more of a thoughtful, contemplative I don't know why I think this, but I think this is going to be the Shawshank Redemption of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Not that it's a movie about prison, but the way that it's about friendship and hope. Not that I know of, although I will say this, something is imprisoned in this movie, and I think that's probably what a lot of it's about. But what I mean is those kinds of weighty human relationships about hope and responsibility and persevering, and what does it mean to have responsibility to a whole society of people. I think we're going to get a movie that we're not expecting, and that is going to be an outlier amongst the it'll be 26 films in the MCU.
All right. Well, the question is for you guys. What do you think about this? On the first level, that gets the PG-13 rating, mentioning brief sexuality. I don't really think that really means much at all, but maybe it does. What do you guys think about that? And then overall, what are your expectations for this movie right now? I mean, the trailers haven't been blowing people out of the water, but Marvel clearly has a lot of high hopes for this movie. A lot of people at Marvel think this is the best film they've ever made. Question is for you guys. Where are you on that right now? Whatever you guys think, jump into the comments section below and leave your thoughts there.